Well, Nolan, now over 50 games at the NHL level under your belt. Your play obviously has been improving. How much did it mean to you that your coach and your coaching staff showed confidence in you? As your play was getting better, the numbers didn't necessarily follow right away. And he not only stuck with you, but he also promoted you to align with Jake and Wayne at the time. How much did that mean to you?
Yeah, it was huge for my confidence, and I think I earned that position, and obviously it's a tough league to produce in, but when you're playing with guys like Jake and Simi, it gets a lot easier, and I think Jake's one of the best playmakers in the league, so you just got to give him the puck and get open, and he'll make plays, and Simi's unbelievable in that front, and he's great down there, so it's two really easy guys to play with.
Wayne's out right now, but let's talk about Jake. He's a great player. He's a creative player, but he's not what you'd say an orthodox player. He makes plays that other guys don't, maybe even can't make. But in what way do you have to adjust to that?
Well, he's a different player. He's the first guy that ever played with that tells you not to support the puck when he has it. He likes to spread the zone out, and he's the only guy that I've ever seen that can fight off three guys and still make a play. So. He wins tons of battles. He protects the puck better than anyone I've ever seen, and his vision's unbelievable. So, he's a really fun guy to play with.
Let's talk about your development. No secret, you grew up in a hockey family. Your dad and uncle, NHL players. What's your very first memory of hockey?
Probably just skating on the rink in my backyard. That was probably the first thing. I remember when I first started skating, I hated it, and I was crying the whole time when my dad was trying to get me to get on the ice, and I don't know, maybe it was 4 when I played on my first team, and I loved it ever since then. And I remember my uncle scoring one NHL goal, watching it on TV in the basement with my dad, and that was the only memory I ever had of him playing. But that's kind of something I remember from when I was being a kid there. So
that's cool. So you cried the first time you were?
Yeah, I hated it. I didn't want to go at all. So.
Thankfully, you got over that. We're all happy about that.
Exactly.
All right, I read a story when you were 7 years old, you were watching Hockey Night in Canada, and you were actually dissecting plays already. You were talking to your father, your uncle, some of your family members about, why didn't this player do this, do that? Is that something that you just had, that hockey IQ, that break down the game kind of thinking?
Yeah, I think I was just kind of, born with that. I don't even remember, doing that. I think I was just, just watch hockey a little more, in depth than other kids would, and I always ask my dad and my uncle questions about, players and guys that my uncle was coaching and stuff like that. So I don't know if I just loved the game more than other kids or was more focused on it, but I think it was just something I was born with.
Now, it's great to have, obviously, a dad and uncle who play in the NHL, and your family's so athletic. But, and I'm sure there's a lot of advice that has come your way through the years. Is it ever overkill? I mean, you're probably getting a lot of advice from a lot of different circles.
Yeah, not really anymore. I think, this year they obviously backed off a lot, kind of, in the NHL now. I think, our coaches can take over that whole role, and they obviously, are great at their job. But kind of going through junior, my uncle would, watch my games and send me little videos here and there of, things I could work on or plays I could make better. So he was kind of more big with the on-ice stuff, and, my dad was just, supportive through everything. He never, he always gave me a few little advice here and there, but he, he never gave it to me if I played a bad game or something like that. He kind of just knew that I understood that I could be better, so he was always supportive through it all.
That's really big. That's unlike most hockey parents. Yeah. I'm a hockey parent. I know I give it to my son on occasion when he doesn't play well, but I mean, that had to mean a lot to you, because he's obviously a guy who made it to the top and knows the game very well, that he would take that kind of approach. Yeah,
I think he just, noticed at a certain age that I was, pretty hard on myself already, and, noticed when I, played bad, I would already, be pretty down on myself. But there's a few times where, I thought I played better than I did, and, he'd let me know that, still wasn't good enough. So, he was huge for me.
If you weren't a hockey player, you would be?
Hunting and fishing guide.
I had a feeling that was going to be the answer. I read a lot about your hunting and fishing. We'll talk about your passion for that.
Yeah, my dad's been hunting since he was, probably 25, so he started taking me when I was younger, and, I loved it ever since. And it's something I try to do when I, get time off in the summer. I'm fishing lots at the cabin, and you know, try to get a few hunts in before I come, you know, before I came here this year. So I love it. It's lots of fun.
What do you want people to think of when I say the name Nolan Patrick?
Should probably just be a good person, a good teammate. It's kind of the main thing for me. Obviously, you know, on the ice, the fans love to watch you play, and that's something that you know, they always support you with. But I think being a good teammate and good person off the ice is one of the most important things.
Nolan, this has been great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.